good you can do for yourself is listen, and take notes. Also, there'll be opportunity for you to ask question as the session is ongoing. So if you have a question, please do not hesitate to write it down. There's going to be a time for us to take your questions. So if you put it now, it might get lost in the chat. So that's why I always encourage people to wait till when it's time for Q&A, and then you can drop your question. So today is pretty straightforward. What we're going to be talking about, for those of us who probably got the link from our friends and I don't know what we're talking about, is very relational for those of us who are in the data space. So I'm going to be talking about ensuring accuracy in data collection and analysis. Accuracy in data collection and analysis, and then with emphasis on attention to details. As data analysts, we know how important our records need to be accurate, how important that accuracy is for us. If you're a data analyst or a data scientist, you work with data, trust me, you don't want to make a mistake, because one data can ruin your entire report, can lead your company astray, because the management rely on those data and the report you'll be creating to make business decisions, key business decisions. So you do not want to ruin your company's efforts by making a mistake, or collecting the wrong data, or missing something, creating an outlier and whatnot. So that is what we'll be talking about today. And then this platform that is giving you the opportunity to do this is the Data Analytics LI community. We have built a community that supports people in their learning journey. For everyone that wants to become a data analyst, we have courses that we run to help people, become a skilled data analyst, so to say, a skilled data analyst. And guess what? We have professionals here who do this for us. The likes of Iremide Olatunji, who is our founder and humble leader. We have others also, Iremide. Yeah, so we have Alex, and we have others who also volunteering with us. So if you are here and you are skilled and you would like to also, join in that, you are highly welcome. And we have an amazing guest with us in the person of Faith Husie, who is going to be, speaking to us on this. As I say, you should prepare your question. Prepare your question. I don't need to tell you where she works because of some privacy issues. But if you know where she works, you know that you open your ear and start writing things down, right? Because it's a very good place to learn, a very, very good place to also grow. And she's been doing this for years. She has over 5 years of experience as a data analyst, even a research analyst as well, a cloud and data analyst as well. So he got her degree from the University of Benin in Bachelor of Engineering. Yes. So she's been doing this for years, trust me. So there's no other person that would rather listen to than her. So help me make welcome Faith Osie for today's session. Mic check, Faith.
Hello, hi,
Hi.
Angela.
Oh, I've been anticipating your video.
Yeah, so this
Faith.
is
Sorry, it's not part of the session, but you are beautiful. Permit me to say that you are beautiful.
thank you so much. Thank you
We're
very much.
excited to have you here today.
Yeah,
Trust me, personally, I'm excited because I look forward to learning from the insights that you'll be sharing, and I'm hopeful that every other person here today will also, have their questions, and they'll be able to learn a thing or two. And guys, before we start, remember you are free to share this with people. Share the link with people. If you know someone that should be in this session that is not yet, feel free to share the link with them and invite them. So yes, we're going to be jumping right into it, right? So to put more emphasis, we do this every month to help our community grow, because it's not enough to learn the skills. You learn Excel, you learn SQL, you learn the other courses that we offer, and then you see the technicalities, do this, do that, is not enough. The soft skills are also very, very important. Very, very important. So every month we do this because we are helping our community members grow on all round, the technical side and the soft side. So that is the essence of these sessions. So If you are here and you didn't know, now you know. So you have to make it a date with us for, the next session. Beautiful. So the first question, yeah, but before I even jump, because my blood is hot, I want to start asking the questions already. My blood is so hot because I've been anticipating today. I would love you to, briefly introduce yourself to every one of us. Let's get to meet you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ejiro.
It's my
And
pleasure.
I'd like to appreciate the old Data Analytics Elite team for giving me this opportunity. It's an honor to be speaking here today. All right. So briefly, I'll just talk about myself. My name is Faith Osia, as you all already know. I am a data scientist. I started off as a data analyst. So my journey into data started in my final year in school. This is just to encourage for as many data enthusiasts we have here. So I started off while in my final year in school. You know, when you're in school and you're being asked what's the next step after school, and all you say is, I just want to leave school and find myself in one oil company eating oil money, right? So it started off while I was in school, and it has been an amazing experience, an amazing part for me. I've had the opportunity to work in some firms, consulting firms, financial institutions, and trust me, for beginners, for enthusiasts, it might not be looking all rosy. There might be some challenges, there might be some difficulties, and at some point you just want to give up. Come on, no, trust me, it's a beautiful part. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that awesome introduction. Now, I wish I have this super story to tell too, but I'm still building. After video, I'm sure one day, I'm going to have this sweet story to tell. I also want to give everyone in this room opportunity to do same. I mean, I've been seeing everyone on the call, but I want every other person to see. I mean, it's easy for me to see everyone, but maybe not others. So use the next few seconds, drop in the comment section your name and where you are joining us from. You can tell us your location as well. Just go to the comment section, tell us your name, tell us your current location, tell us what you currently do. In the next couple of minutes, let's get to meet you. Let's get to meet everyone on the call. Let's get to meet everyone on the call. Go to the comment section. I want to see your comments. I want to see your comments. Your name. I'm not seeing anyone. No. Aha, Chinwe, thank you very. Oh, Chinwe is joining us from Enugu. How is Enugu this sunny afternoon? I hope it's sunny there as well. Thank you, Chinwe, for joining us. Oh, it's very fine, beautiful, good to know. Simon is joining us from Ibadan. Ah, Ibadan. Wow, beautiful. Please, after the session, make sure you locate Ire. Let her buy you Abula. Buluwatife is joining us from Lagos. Buluwatife, thank you so much for making it a date with us. Yes, I hope that it's sunny at your end as well because it is sunny here. Stephen Wambuiz is joining us from Lagos, Ikeja. Good to have you here, Stephen. Maria from Zaria. Whoa, we have people from Zaria. Interesting. How is Zaria this sunny afternoon? Again, I hope that it's sunny there as well. I heard that Zaria is cold. I'm not sure if that's true. Abu from London, costing analyst, aspiring data. I think this is an enthusiast. Wow. Abdul, we are happy to Abul. We're happy to have you join us all the way from London, UK. How is London doing now? How is London, mate? I think that's how they say it. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. I'm going to be moving on now to the questions proper. And like I said, if you have your questions, please, and please drop it in the comment section. We're going to be taking each and every one of them as long as time permits. We'll be doing this for an hour, so we have some very good amount of minutes left. So the first one will be Faith. How would you define the role of attention to detail in data collection and analysis?
Um, okay, so basically, before I answer that, I would like to enlighten us about what attention to details entails. You know, the primary aim of every analysis or of of okay, for a company to employ you as a data analyst, they want you to come in give them insight, and help them make the right decisions, right? So now when you're talking about data, attention to detail in data collection and analysis, it is not just a part of data quality that, okay, let's make sure that this is this. No, it is way, way more than that. It's a critical aspect that needs to be practiced as an ethical data professional, as it basically helps you to carefully and thoroughly examine your data. You want to ensure that what you're working with is accurate. You want to make sure that you're actually generating the right insight, right? Because if you don't give them the right insight, if you don't generate the right insight, you're actually going to mislead your company, right? In terms of decision making. So it is a major aspect that a data analyst or a data professional basically needs to practice. I don't.
Oh, I didn't know you were done speaking. I was just enjoying and nodding my head away. But I don't know if it's my network, but I can't see your video though. I
Okay.
probably my network. I'm not sure. All right. So everyone, you heard that. You don't want to lead your company astray. Please don't be the reason why your company went south because an information was missed or a detail was missed in the data collection process or even in the analysis process. Thank you so much, Faith, for that. So my next question is, how crucial is attention to detail in the data collection process? And what are some common consequences of overlooking it? It's what is the data that you present to this analyst in some cases that they will work with. So it starts from the collection really before you even come to analyzing it. So at that point of collection, why is it crucial to pay attention to it at that point when you are collecting your data, and then the common consequences that people will experience when they overlook it at that initial stage.
All right, okay. Just as you've rightly mentioned, the first step to analyzing data, or the first step to you getting insight, is you getting or collecting your data, right? Attention to detail is very crucial because when you understand what attention to detail means and the end goal, which is basically to get what? To get accurate data, to get accurate data for your analysis. It is crucial in the sense that when you fail to get the right data, when you fail to get the right insight, you are basically going to lead, or you're basically going to what? Generate the wrong insights. You're basically going to generate the wrong information for your company. Overlooking this aspect of data collection could basically affect the quality and reliability of your data and any subsequent analysis. Now, say for instance, you you're faced with getting data for an analysis. A stakeholder comes to you and tell you, okay, we want to generate a report. We want you to generate a report that tells us how we've been performing so far over the year. And you failing to apply the skill would actually lead you to not getting the right data needed for this for your analysis, right? Now, some common consequences that this could actually lead you to is, now, you have consequences of errors. If you fail to pick the right data needed for your analysis, there are some consequences which could lead to you getting incomplete data, increased uncertainty, inaccurate model estimation, and also system application errors. So, say for instance, after collecting your data, you're working with, okay, there are some analysis you'd want to do. Okay, basically, as a data scientist, you want to build a model. And we all know that some major tools that we use for model building does not work with non-values. So when you have an empty cell, your application would not run. You keep getting errors. And also another consequence is your inaccurate model estimation. So if, for instance, you pick the wrong data, you pick the wrong data set and you start building your model, that would actually lead to you building a model that would predict inaccurate results. So you want to predict which customer would likely churn over a period of time, and you're already working with the wrong data set. You already picked the wrong data set. You already picked the wrong data point or features needed for your analysis. So it is going to actually affect your model estimation. Now, some common pitfalls and type of errors that some data analysts encounter in data collection includes incomplete data, data standardization, um, data entry errors, inconsistent data types, and outliers. So you want to pay attention to all this. In terms of data collection, you identify the data points that you'll be needing for your analysis. After identifying it, you want to make sure that the data is in the form that you want it to be, so as to like avoid consequences that come with working with inaccurate data sets.
Thank you very much for that. So, everyone, I hope you got that correctly. You want to pay attention to those things. Anything that will lead to an outlier, that will lead to the wrong analysis, please, you need to pay attention to it at the point of collection. And if for any reason you are not in the team, because there are some companies where people who work on those things are different, you could ask questions like, okay, if I'm going to be analyzing this, these are the information I need. That's why she talks about those data points. What data point do you need, and the format that you need them, so that will give them a clarity when they are also building or planning to collect those data. Thank you so much, Faith, for that. My third question is, can you share an example from your experience? Looking at your profile, I'm really, really wowed. Like, you've done you've done so much in your own light. Yeah. So can you share an example from your experience where a small detail had a significant impact on the accuracy of an analysis you made?
All right, right, okay. So there was a time, okay, there was a report that I built for the stakeholders, top executive of my company. So it was required that we build a performance report to show how the business has been faring over the years. They want in terms of sales, basically in terms of sales. There was one issue there, and that was the issue of currency, currency conversion. So for that particular report, I started off by getting the needed data for the analysis. Right. Okay. So after building the report, it was noticed. I noticed that this was before presenting to the executives. I noticed that the in terms of sales, there were a little discrepancy, and this was as a result of currency types. I failed to put into consideration that there were some transactions that were done in a different currency. So, say for instance, a customer transacted and made payment in dollar, and it will be recorded there that okay, the this person bought a particular product um, at the rate of 500 and paid $500, right? And then on that column, we also have that okay, another customer bought this particular product and paid in naira. Another customer bought this product and paid in pounds. So you have a column that states the currency code and also a column that states the amount, right? So in my analysis, I failed to consider the currency column, and I just summed up everything. Summed up like the transaction column, the amount column, without putting into consideration the currency column. So when I noticed this, when you're talking about attention to details, your mindset is you want to build you want to build a report that is accurate, right? And moving forward, you want to like point out the key factors to consider when building the report to actually when building the report so as to get accurate insight. So after building, I was now going through my checks again to make sure that okay, what I have built is actually in the right direction and generating the right insight. So on taking a look at the data set again, I noticed that oh, there is a column for currency code, and I have failed to consider this column. So, and that is where data cleaning comes in. You have to go back again and clean your data. Make sure that all the amounts are in a unified currency. So it is either you convert to naira or you convert to USD. So I went back and converted everything to naira. So that actually helped me in presenting the right figures to the stakeholders.
That is an incredible share. I mean, it's not easy to come out and say that I failed in doing this. I've
Yes.
seen people when they make a mistake, they know that they made a mistake, but they'll still find a way to package their mistake so that it sounds like, oh, it's not my fault after all. Why didn't they convert it before entering the number? I mean, it's easy to pass blame. And thank you for sharing. So, guys, you see that sometimes these things are even very tiny that you might not notice. It's easy to make that mistake. Yeah, the money was entered there and the currency was not put into consideration, and that could have led the business astray if not that you quickly outlined that and corrected it. So in your day-to-day job, even when you are building projects, I understand that some of us are just starting in our journey, some of us still enthusiastic about it. You can even apply this in your current role, whatever you are doing. It's important that you pay attention to details so that you don't miss the tiny littlest of information that could make everything go south, so to say. All right, so I'll be asking the next question now. What strategies do you use to prevent errors and oversight in your data collection process?
All right. Okay. So personally, my strategies include clear data collection plan. As a data professional, you don't want to lead your company astray, right? So you start off by defining your data collection plan. Now, you start off by defining your collection, the type of data needed for your analysis. Um, Basically, what I do is if a stakeholder comes and say, okay, we want a report or we actually want a report on this. The first thing to do is basically to understand your stakeholder's request. And after understanding it, you make out plans on how to get the appropriate data points, the appropriate data sets needed to generate the insight. Now, after getting the data point, after getting the appropriate data needed, we'd want to move into data validation and cleaning. Now, as a data analyst, as a data professional, this is very important. Most times, I spend like not most times, majorly as a data professional, you hear data professionals say, okay, they spend like 70% of their time validating data, cleaning data to make sure that the data is in good use, sorry, is in good shape for use. Now, when validating data and when cleaning data, you want to take your time. It's not something you rush to do because once you miss this point, once you fail to identify the type of data you need, okay, identify the type of errors you're having in your data set, you're already on your way to generating wrong insights, which would definitely lead to um, um, miss missing data decisions. So after data validation and cleaning, when you're talking about validation and cleaning, you want to watch out for missing values. You want to watch out for data type errors, and also another strategy I use is review by the team. As a data professional, it is very good to learn how to work with your team too. They say you get a job done faster when you collaborate, when you work with people. There are some there are some things you might not see, there are some errors you might not see, that when you review with your team, they will point out that, okay, this would actually not give us what we want. We need to add this, we need to clean this, we need to remove this. So you need to review your data sets with your team, and also documentation for future use, for future reference. Say, for instance, another request comes that they want something similar to what you've worked on before, but because you have documentation, you have the documentation of what you've worked on, it will make it easier. So all you have to do is go back to your documentation and go through the steps there. So basically, my strategies are planning. Like, first you need to start by planning your your um your planning the way you want to go about the analysis, and also validate your data, make sure it is clear, make sure it is clean, and basically review by your team, and then document.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. The part I enjoyed is the team review. Sometimes we feel like, oh, I've been doing this thing for years now. I can't do it by myself. I can do it. You just be surprised what an input from someone else might have on that decision you're trying to make. So thank you for the awesome share. I've taken something from your strategy. I'm going to be implementing myself. Right. So this next question is very important for me, really, because we're in an agile state where people, not just people, like your employers want you to do things between the twinkle of an eye. And then for you to pay attention to details, I mean, you need time to be sure that this is accurate. You cannot just skim through something and say, okay, this is fine. No, you have to carefully go through it. So in a fast paced work environment like we have today, how do you balance the need for speed with the requirement for accurate data analysis? How do you strike those balance so you don't waste too much time trying to make sure that your analysis is correct? At the same time, you don't rush through that validation process, that cleaning process, such that there is an error in your analysis. How do you achieve that?
Okay, so um, over the years, in my experience as a data analyst and a data scientist, um, it is very normal. A stakeholder will come and tell you, I need this report. Can it be delivered by this time? In order for you not to rush and end up getting inaccurate data analysis, I would advise you communicate, because you're already in the feed and you know, okay, data cleaning is very important. There are some requests that would come in that would require you to pick data from different data sources. You don't even know where the data sits. So that's like a major work. You don't even know where the data sits, but you know it exists. You have to go around to ask the support team, okay, where does this data sit? Where can I get this data? Where can I get this? And also definitions too, data point definitions. You don't manage these data points. You don't, sorry, these data sources. You don't manage the data sources. So when a stakeholder comes and tell you, I want a report, try as much as you can to communicate the exact period you think would be enough, the exact time you think would be enough for you to complete the project. There was a time where um, a top manager came to me and was like, I want you to build a report for 7 products and I need it by Monday. Now they're coming to you on Wednesday telling you that they need a report for 7 different products. Like, you need to build 7 different reports for 7 different products and they need it by Monday. Now that is them already shooting you. Like, they're already shooting you, like you don't even know where to get this data from, because they sit in different data sources. So I had to have a conversation and told the manager that your request is totally understood, But in order to ensure me delivering the accurate reports needed for this, that timeline is not going to work. You need to tell them the timeline that works for you. That's the number one point you need to communicate. Do estimation, and come back with the number of days you think it will take you for you to complete that project. So that's like the first thing to do. Now, after communicating that timeline with your stakeholder, now you want to go back and ensure that you ask the right questions like immediately. You don't wait that, okay, I this request is A now. Okay, I'm assuming that I know where the data sits. No, you don't assume. So immediately you get the request, immediately a request comes in like this, that okay, we want a report. After communicating the timeline that you think it will take you to deliver the project, then you start off immediately. One thing about me is when I have a task to do, I tend not to be able to focus on something else until I get that task done. And that's one way to speed your work. Now, when you have the mindset of, okay, there's a task that needs to be completed at this stimulated time, you want to start off immediately, right? So you start off by getting to consult the support team for the different data sources where the data sits. Then get them to define the data points. There are some data sets you see, they would say column A is this, column B is this, but you don't really know what column, like it's stated that, okay, column A is agenda, is gender, column B is sex, column C is, so SIP, they'll just say SIP. Now, from looking at the data set, I can tell that, okay, gender is gender. I know what gender is, but for this particular one, I don't know what SIP means. So you want to have a discussion with the support team and ask them, okay, can you define this? What are the conditions I need to follow? What are the conditions I need to follow to get this particular request? So say for instance, someone comes and tell you, okay, I want all successful transactions. On the table, on the data set you have, maybe there's a column that speaks to status code. And status code is the column that speaks to if a transaction was successful or not. And then you're seeing 00, you're seeing 9, you're seeing 10, you're seeing 11, you're seeing. Looking at that, I can't tell, okay, at what point is a transaction successful? So you want to have that talk with the support team for that particular product and say, okay, how do I identify a successful transaction? And then they will tell you, okay, for successful transaction, the status code is 00. So the major key point is defining your timeline and starting off immediately. And focus should be on getting the correct data, not just getting it. After getting it, you want to make sure that your data is clean as possible. Then after getting that, you move on to the analysis. Trust me, analysis is very, very easy when you have the right data and when your data is clean.
Thank you very much for that. That is very insightful. I love the part that you said if you can't meet that timeline, you have to tell them the timeline you will meet, because a lot of times, I mean, we're quick to complain like, I can't do this, so it's too short.
Yes.
That is just a problem. But when you go a step further to say, oh, this timeline is too short, but I can get it done within this time frame, that is being proactive to say, oh, this is the solution, but this is also a possible this is the problem, sorry, and this is also a possible solution. By this time, I should be able to, get this thing done. And then the part where you talked about getting clarity is very, very important, especially if you're not the person that define the data metrics. This is Nigeria. in some company you be the one to do everything. You do data entry, you do data definition, everything you are doing. So in that case, you already know what exactly it is you are collecting. But in a structured organization, you have people handling different parts. It's very important that you are working in synergy with those other people so you get clarity exactly on what these data mean. And like she rightly explained, if I'm the one that was going to analyze that report and I'm seeing 009 for me trying to see if a transaction failed or not, I probably think that the wrong data was collected for for this. I'll be expecting that successful failed or yes, no, those conventional um definitions. So thank you for that. I hope everyone is really, really taking note. I hope everyone is taking note. If you are still here with us, you can give us a reaction or drop a yes in the comment section. I want to be sure that everyone is saying, yay, Iremide, thank you. I see your clap. Salami Ayodeji, thank you. Joshua, yes, I see you. Thank you. Isaac Suleiman, thank you very much. Hakim, thank you. Hakim Tayo. Aha. Thank you very much. Yes, I needed to be sure that we're all still here together. Voluatife, thank you. We see you. Also, so remember, guys, if you have a specific question bordering down on this, pay attention to details and ensuring accuracy in data collection and analysis, please note it down because very soon we're going to be taking your questions. All right, so I have a few more questions here also. Um, what tools or techniques have you found helpful in maintaining accuracy when dealing with large data sets? If I'm going to analyze 1,000 rows, I mean, easy peasy. But I was speaking with a friend the other time, and she said some of our analysis, like if you are talking of millions of rows, I'm like, we still there. We think that we're doing, and you people you have left us. So what tools and techniques have you found helpful when dealing with large data sets?
All right, okay. So there's when you talk about large data sets, can be millions of rows, and also we have what they call big data. And when you're talking about big data, you're talking about terabytes of data. So let's bring it down to millions of rows. Let's not go to big data for now. So for me, when dealing with large data sets, um, my major tool is PySpark. I like using PySpark. It might be a bit advanced for data enthusiasts that we have here, but let me just break it down. For beginners, when dealing with large data sets, you can start off by using Python. Because if you want to check for empty cells or missing data in your data sets, you don't want to be scrolling one. You don't want to be scrolling one to see where you have missing values, where you have nans, where you have undefined values. You don't want to be scrolling one. No, for beginners, most of our data sets are Excel, right? The data sources are Excel. But then when you're coming to large data sets, when you're coming to big data, your data set cannot even sit on Excel. I think the maximum you can have on one Excel sheet is 1 million rows. Now, imagine considering data sets of over 40 million rows. So Python comes in handy for me to be able to scan through to check how accurate my data set is. I use Python, PySpark, Databricks. So there's some codes you just put in. You want to check for non values. You want to see the columns that have non values. You can just go in and do is now on Python, and it will return all the columns with non-values. So doing this, you'd want to be able to identify columns that are relevant to your analysis, columns that would not be relevant to your analysis. Okay, you want to identify, um, you want to know if the missing values in a particular column is more than what so if the missing values you have in a particular column is more than the known values. So with the help of Python, with the help of PySpark, one major difference. One I would rather use PySpark than using Python, because there's a point where you get to, when using Python, you start seeing memory issues, like out of memory issue. But when you work with PySpark is fast and it works with large volume of data.
Awesome. Thank you for that share. So for everyone here, in case you heard Python and you were palpitating, don't worry, calm down. We have a Python training, right, Ire? I think we have training on Python, Ire. Awesome. Yeah, so you can also take our Python class and then learn how to use Python. And of course, like she said, for a beginner, you're going to be using more of Excel. We also have training for Excel, we have training for SQL. Python is in November, awesome. So this is a lot of time to prepare. You can start making inquiries, making your registration, preparing for November. So as you're entering 2024, you're entering with, you're entering better, higher, more enabled, more skilled. Thank you very much for that contribution, Faith. So if you really if you really have to deal with those large data sets, then it's important that you learn the skills that are necessary to save you time, to save you stress, and it will also help you improve on your efficiency. Thank you very much for that. So my next question is going to be, how do you handle situations where data sources contain inconsistencies or errors, and what steps do you take to rectify them?
All right, okay. So, situations where data sources contain inconsistencies or errors, I think the very first thing to consider is, or the very first thing to do is for you to be able to identify that there are inconsistencies here and there are errors here. So, if you're able to identify those inconsistencies, those errors, then you are on the right track of what rectifying them. So, in situations like that, um, so okay, let's start with this. For the case of missing values, say for instance missing values, you have a column that is very crucial to your analysis. Okay, so say for instance you have a column that speaks to, okay, you okay customers demographics, right? And on that column, some customers specified their sex and some did not. All right. So for something like that, I would advise that, okay, you start off by checking the ratio of, okay, mostly for categorical variables. When dealing with categorical variables, when you notice that they are missing values, it is most times advisable to replace them with not defined. So, say for instance, you have a column for sex, a column for, yeah, for sex, customer sex. You want to know if they are males or females. And on that column, you have about 70% known and 30% unknown. Kindly just replace the 30% with not available. That is you creating another category for that column. So your analysis will now be on, okay, we have 50% male, we have 30% females, and 20% of our customers were not defined. They did not provide their sex. So starting off is identifying that, okay, we have issues here. For errors, there are some errors like, okay, so say for instance you have a column that you're supposed to have just three categories there. You're supposed to have paid, um, paid, not paid, and okay, no, let's say we have credits, we have debits, and we have not available. So maybe in the process of entering the data, uh, I happened to make a silly mistake in the sense that instead of writing paid, PAID, I wrote PAD, pad. And instead of writing um, debit, I end up omitting I. So in cases like that, you know that in that column you want to have just three categories, right? You want to have credit, debit, and paid. But then there are inconsistencies in how the data were imputed. So what you do is you classify those ones that were not properly spelled, classify them to, like, there's a way you do it. It's all boils down to data cleaning and data wrangling. So you can classify, you know that okay, this person wanted to type paid, but then omitted the I. So you can group all the part and call them paid, like transform them to be paid. And this is where data transformation comes in, right? So steps I take is one, identify them, to look for how to clean them to usable format. And there are some cases where we have data type issues, where you're supposed to have where you're supposed to have numbers. It's being formatted to be text. Now you can't sum up text, right? But you can sum up numbers. So you want to change the data type to be a number instead of its initial form, which was maybe set to be a text. And you know that okay, this column is supposed to be tran amount, but the tran amount is being formatted to text. If you want to carry out a summation analysis on that particular column, you won't be able to sum it because it's a text column, right? So what you have to do is to convert that column to become a number column, that data type to becoming uh, a number data type. So you just have to identify where the error sits. If you're able to identify where the error sits, you'll be able to rectify them.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Being able to see from
Hello, Kenny. You're breaking, Adria.
right? No. I think one of us. Can you, everyone hear me? I don't know. I think one of our network is fluctuating.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear
So
you.
yeah, just think on your feet, find the solution, you've identified the errors, and then you go ahead to, you know, one that wants to do data analytics problem on your feet. I should even add. Right. So thank you very much for that. Of time, I have more questions. I
Okay.
need to do this for 1 hour because of time. I'm going to take just one more so that the audience can ask questions before they will say that I did not let them ask questions. So I'm going to take just one more and then we'll move on to the audience. Anyone, if you have a question, you can start dropping them in the comment section now, and then we'll, take them one after the other as long as time permit. So this question is going to be like maybe personal, because there are some persons that will not consider themselves as though they pay attention to details. Some people can be proud to say, oh, yes, I'm very attentive, but some it's not something that they have train themselves to do. So for individuals like that, how can they improve their personal attention to detail when working with data? And what resources or habits do you think can help them become better attentive to details, help them pay better attention to details?
All right. Okay. So for individuals that are actually looking at improving their personal attention to detail skill, I would start off by saying it's a thing of the mind. So as a data analyst, you should always have the mindset of making it right. Um, you have an analysis to do. The mindset, the very first thing is having the mindset of what? Of making it right. You don't just dive into analysis. You don't just dive into building visuals, into loading your data to Power BI, generate generate visuals, carry visuals, format it to look very fine. No, you need to start off by having the mindset that You want to make it right. You want to generate accurate insights. You want to generate the right insights. Just have the mindset. That should be the very first thing. And also, never give up easily when it seems like you're not getting what is expected. In real life, for beginners and for enthusiasts, when you're learning, I know most of us can just easily go to Cargo, get already made data sets. In real life, you deal with dirty data. You deal with dirty data. There are some points you get to, you just feel frustrated, like why is this like this? Why is this like this? Now, when you're trying to develop your attention to detail skill, learn never to give up when you're cleaning data set. Learn never to give up. It might be like what you're expecting to get, you're not getting it. Um, okay, you want to convert from dollars to naira, and it's looking like your conversion script is not working. Don't give up. Don't say, okay, um let me just leave it like that. No, like I rightly said, the very first thing is you having the mindset of what making it right. You want to make it right. If your conversion is not making sense, you want to keep on trying to make it right. And also, for you to be able to improve your attention to detail skill, you need to work with a checklist. So basically, what I do is when I have a project that I want to work on, I start off by planning. Planning also helps too. Start off by planning. It's majorly helps. You want to understand the context of, or rather, you want to understand the business context. You want to know what to look out for. You want to be able to identify or to know the right data to collect for that analysis. And also, you want to know, okay, where does my data set sit? Where are they seated? Okay, are they in a central repository? Is it something, is it for this analysis? Can I get all my data points from one data source? Or do I need to get my data from different data sources? So these are some little checks you need to do to ensure attention to detail, to ensure that you're actually heading towards accuracy, right? Now, also, you want to also pay attention to your communication skill. Attention to detail is not just you waking up one morning and say, okay, I want to get accurate results. No, you need to be able to work on how you communicate to stakeholders. You need to, because if after identifying the problem, you want to be able to ask questions. So if you want to ask the the team that supports a particular data source, you need to be able to communicate, right? So you need to work on that. And also, um, when you're trying to improve your attention to detail skill, you need to continue learning. There's never a end point for data analysis. Trust me, there's never a end point. An end point rather. You want to keep on learning. You want to join data communities. So there's this thing that if you don't get exposed, you can become outdated. You will know what the latest trend is. You will know what the latest tools are to use as a data analyst. So basically, first thing is for you to have the mindset of making it right. Never give up. Continue learning. Just have to keep on learning. Then also join data communities, attend webinars, um, try more hands-on projects, like get projects, get data sets, analyze. So one thing I do, and one thing I would actually encourage a data analyst to do is whenever you pick up your data set, and this is like the beginning of attention to detail. Whenever you pick up a data set to work on, the very first thing to do is for you to understand what is happening in that data set before moving, you need to understand what is happening. You have a data set. What does this data set speak to? Is this data set for customers? Is this data set for a particular transaction? Okay, what does this column talk about? Just a checklist. A checklist would actually help you. You'd say, okay, I want to improve my attention to detail skill. What are the things I need to look out for? You want to look at for how accurate your data set is, how clean your data set is, what are the steps I need to do to make my data set looks very clean and all that. And also keep on learning.
Very much for that. So if you are here and you know that this is a part of you or a skill that you need to develop, then please do not stop learning. Do not stop learning. And I love the fact that you emphasize the fact when you were explaining earlier that in real life the data is usually different from
Everything.
what you find when you're looking for data sets to work with. And that is what we all pray for. You don't want to build projects forever. I mean, let's say you start learning and then you start learning in January 2023 and you build project for 6 months. You should anticipate real life experiences. So when you are praying for God, give me a job, get me a job, and then those jobs come, the real life experiences come, please do not run away from them because you feel like, I can't do this. So why are they collecting their data like this? Why is this? So why is that? So instead, look for creative ways that you can solve those problems. And the key is paying attention because you need to, like she rightly said, you need to first identify that there is an error here before you can even go ahead to rectify it. So it's important that you pay attention to details. And like I said, if this is a need, if this is a skill that you need to learn, please do not stop learning. Do not stop learning. So thank you very much. This At this point, I would love to hear the audience. I've been looking through the chats and I see that we have hey, Ire, please don't give up. Oh, me, I know you very well. I know you very well. Please don't give up, yeah? And Charlie said, nice conversation and insights. My question. Okay, so Charlie has a question for us. Awesome. So every other person, please do well to drop your question. Olufumi, we see you. Welcome on the session. Charlie said, how do you deal with data bias and data methodology to improve data collection in terms of suggesting to whoever collects the data? Do you create a format to help them streamline their data or any other suggestion that works? Yeah, muted.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, hi Charlie. So how do you deal with data bias and data methodology to improve data collection? Going to okay. So basically, okay. All right. So when dealing with data bias, you're being employed into an organization and they already have their structures, right? They already have the formats you joined into to meet data structures there already. Before I answer that question, let me just quickly throw in a a scenario that happened. Um, okay, so there's this project that I worked on, and there's a particular column that was very very important to that analysis for me to be able to achieve that, and that was to check if a particular customer has card, like if they have, okay, say for instance you want to check if a customer has an ATM card, right? And then on that column it is showing yes that they have. So at the point at which the data was imputed, it shows that okay, this customer has ATM card, but forgetting the fact that ATM cards get expired over a period of time, right? So say after 3 years, the card will get expired. Now the thing is that column being updated? No, it's okay for that scenario. It was not updated. You understand? So on noticing that the structure is already has already been there, right? Okay, they have a column that speaks to if a customer has a card or not. It has been there, but then I realized that okay, that column is not being updated. So for cases like that, in order to avoid bias, you there's a live table that speaks to if a customer's card has expired or not. So basically, like I said, data sits in different data sources. You have different sources. So you want to go to the live or you want to go to the there's this thing that organizations do. They try as much as they can to have like a central repository that basically just holds specific information, but at times they fail to update that part. So what we advise to do is just meet the team in charge of that and in charge of that database or in charge of that particular source and explain to them it's not your duty to correct it. You're not a database personnel, you are a data analyst, right? So identify possible biases that could result to how the data are being structured and how they've been collected. So meet with them and discuss with them that okay, can we keep updating this? Can we run a end of day um, fetch for all this so as to keep our tables updated? So I don't know if that answered your question, Charlie.
I've been speaking on mute. Thank you very much, Charlie. You are here, so let us know if that answers your question. And yes, Hakim, you are in the session, and like you rightly said, if you are not exposed, you become outdated. There are lots of things that we are doing today that we could not do when Excel was newly built. Recently they just launched the Python thingy. I'm sure there are lots of persons that do not even know that that feature is there, and even some of us that know, it's not all of us that can use it yet. Microsoft recently launched Fiber. Fabrics. Microsoft Fabrics. It's not all of us that know how to use it. So you need to stay updated so that you are not an outdated data analyst. Not that in 2023 you want to do maybe summation, or you want to split. Let me use the simplest one, to split text to column, and then you manually go and copy each of the word you want to split and manually paste, when you could just use the text to column feature to do that. So yes, you need to be exposed, know what exactly is happening in your industry. Otherwise, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You might miss out on some relevant and new industry information. So that is what she meant there when she said that you should be exposed. Otherwise, you become outdated. Okay. I see Charlie's question is the only question that we had, and we're 5 minutes behind schedule. Um, I want to appreciate everyone for staying through till this point. I wish there were more questions. You can just take more. Okay, we are going to take our founder's question. Yes, we are going to stay back for that question. What do you do when you are frustrated cleaning data? This is a real life question because it happens all the damn time. I mean, sometimes I'm guilty. I will send the data back and like, I can't work with this, so please, you have to make it better. Sometimes, yeah, it can get to that point where I know that, oh, I know what to do actually to make it better, but because I'm very angry at that, I will send it back. I can't work with this. This is what I need, so give me what I need. Yeah, what do you do when you are at that point when you are frustrated cleaning those data?
All right. Thank you, Irim Day. Okay, so basically, this is where um, your team comes in, right? Yes, you need to work with the team. You might get frustrated. Share with your team, get them to have their inputs, and see ideas will start coming on how to get it done, right? So do well to work with your team, and if there are cases where You can just do research. Okay, how do I get this done? You can do research, you can go to Google. Trust me, there are some now talking about things, you might be very lucky that you have a team member that already encountered that kind of issue in cleaning their data. So it makes it faster. Try as much as you can to collaborate. You're muted,
So
Adrian. Yeah,
yeah, I just submitted. So we should collaborate more with those people and get help if I heard that correctly.
yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. Sarah Mide, please don't give up. Oh. And any other person on the call too, please don't give up. We understand this frustration. I mean, we've heard that data is new oil. For those of us who are conversant with the process in making oil, like petroleum, those jelly oil, kerosene, and whatnot from crude oil. If those refiners had given up, we will not have those products today. So please, those are the little frustrations that come with getting the data money. There's money here. I mean, you can see Faith, see her face now, see the hair, see everywhere soft, see Remy Day. You just take a look around you, look at the data analysts, data scientists that are within your circle, the ones that know what they are doing and that have paid the price of time and experience. They're actually reaping the benefits. But it doesn't come without its Faith is your role model. Yay. Someone said you are their role model. It doesn't come without those pain. Every profession has theirs. Like they say, anything you want to do, there's a price to pay. You just have to choose which one you are paying. So these are some of the little things that you might encounter. That's why we said we're not just training our community members on the hard skills, we also train them on the soft skills. So you won't get a job today and say, God, give me a job, give me a job. You get a job today, and then they throw one dirty, hazard looking, very jagged data. You're like, what is this? I'm not doing again, no. And then you quit your job. No, 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 no. We want to make sure that you are well prepared. And I see Ray has something to add, although there's no more question. But Ray, please go ahead.
Amazing, amazing. It's been an amazing session so far. I had to leave Power BI class to just come and sit down here and listen. It's been an awesome session from start up till now. Like, thank you so much, Faith, for joining us in the community. Thank you so much. It's so nice to have you here. And also to everyone that has been on the call, I would like to especially say a very big thank you to you. You guys are amazing. And to the one and only Ejiro Gene Pepe. Thank you so much for hosting the soft skill back to back. And the reason why I actually raised my hand was the question that Salami Ayodeji raised. You know, okay, so that is like the facilitator for Excel Academy, and this issue that you raised is something that is everywhere, even at my workplace. What do you do when you feel your colleague have more data but kept it away from you? What do you do? In fact, not just they. I don't know. I don't understand. Why do people like to hide? It's not your property. You don't take it. Like, I'm really going to vent here because I can't vent at work. People have access and then they are denying you access. Is it so that you don't feel like, so that you don't feel better than them? I don't know. Is it a personality thing? Is it a career thing? People will just hoard. Sorry, I'm venting. People will hoard data unnecessarily, and you be like, "Let me use this thing to work now. Let me. It's for the business." But they will just hide it, sit on it, keep it. Be making you turn up and down, parabolate till you get frustrated. And like, "Talk. I don't try my best now. I leave everything to God." What do you really do, sincerely?
All right, okay. So basically, um, for that case, I think the point most times issues like this result to organizational conflicts, right? You start beefing the other person, like you have this information, why are you holding it? I don't get. So one thing to do is to address it, like address it. Have a conversation with your colleague, like why are you holding this data? We are both here to actually work for the company. So you holding this would actually means you holding information that would actually help us create insights or build a dashboard or analysis that would be of benefit to the company. So just have a conversation with them, and trust me, that works. It works a lot. It works a lot. It works.
Thank you very much for that addition. Something I also do, I mean, it's not the best of routes, but when you have nothing else to do again, you have to meet with your leaders, your manager, or as the case may be, because they are the one that gave you work. It has happened to me if I say, well, I need this information, and the back end engineer that was supposed to put the database was asking me that my boss have asked to do an analysis. That what do I need it for? What do I need it for? Don't worry. The the person that need it will come to meet you. And I was on my own. I just saw like, this is the information you need. This is that, this is that. So in some cases, some people can be very difficult. You try to have conversation with them, and they are behaving like what not. Please, because if your manager comes to you tomorrow and say, hey, Buluwatife, where's the report I asked you for? And you're like, oh, Ejiro did not give me access to that. That is a very terrible excuse to give. Very, very terrible excuse. So it's important that you let them know ahead of time. This is the challenge we are having. Oh, this team we've not been able to get this information from this team, and they are in the better position. Either they will each team leaders will meet, or if you are the team lead, all good and beautiful, and then the next team lead is being that way to you, you meet your next line of authority, and then they are in the better position because it's their business really. So they will definitely not sit and watch another person sabotage. So yes, address them, speak to them, and when that speaking is not working, please always go back to your next line of authority. It's important that you address the issue before it hampers or hinders organizational progress, because you won't be telling me that you did not do a report and ask you to do it because someone refused to give you information. Yeah, so thank you very much. Personally, I've enjoyed this session. I really wish that I didn't it didn't end, but I know that at some point in time we'll have to call it quits. And then again, we'll be having it again and the third Saturday of next month. So please clear your schedule. Make sure you invite someone to invite someone to invite someone. Like I said, we're not just building the technical skills in people. We're also building the soft skills for people. We want a community whereby when you see someone from the data analytics and like community, you know that this is not your regular data analyst, because they are equipped all round. That is what we want to do. All right, so thank you very much, Faith. I have really, really learned a lot from just listening to you in the last over 60 minutes. Yes, Iremide also dropped the link to join our WhatsApp community. So if you are here and you're not in the WhatsApp community, perhaps a friend invited you, or you got an email, or you saw our posting something, please feel free to join the community. We have a lot of activities to keep you going and help you in your journey also, regardless of whatever level you are at the moment. So feel free to join the WhatsApp community. And if you are an enthusiast and you do not know how to start, it's because of you we are here. So please reach out to us after the session, and make inquiries how you can learn. We offer training on Excel, on Python, on SQL, so we can provide you with those training. And our trainers are not just with the experience, but they are industry practitioners, the likes of Faith, people that are doing it day to day, and they can bring in those real life experiences to class. Not someone that will go and, dub one, they will dub something and post it there, but they can bring in their real life experiences to class and help you learn more effectively. Those are the kind of trainers that we have. And aside trainers, we also have another set of amazing people who are there. Their own job is not to train, but to hold your hand, building projects with you. They are mentoring. So we have trainers as facilitators that will have mentoring. So as long as you register with us, you get a mentor that will be hand holding you to make sure that you are learning in the capacity that you should be learning at. So it's a wonderful community. And if you know someone that could benefit, of course, please feel free to refer them. Again, we'll be doing this next month, so make it a date with us. But before we go, I would like us to unmute our mics and say thank you to Faith. Thank you so much. My Saturday evening was well spent. Please unmute your mic and say, ah, unmute your mic and say thank you to Faith.
Thank you very much, Faith.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Th-
We don't have
There's
to.
no thesis on this thing, okay, but there's a love.
Thank you for the wonderful session.
Yeah, thank you for listening. I
Thank you,
enjoyed
thank
listening.
you. Ashutayo, thank you for your message. Thank you. Yes, guys, and to everyone that have still till now, Abdul Malik, Akintayo, Ochere, I hope I got the name correctly. Boluwatife, Emmanuel, Francisca, I see you, Hakim, Isaac, Jamil, Joshua, Oludolapo, Salami, Simeon, Stephen, Tamirat. I hope I got that correctly. Thank you so much for staying till this time. We really, really appreciate it. It's because of you are doing this, so we appreciate the support for staying through. We hope to see everyone at the top. Enjoy your evening and see you again next month. Cheers, guys.